Welcome back, everybody, to the NBA 2K22 MyNBA expansion series with the Kansas City Scouts. And today is the final episode, the long-term sim, in which we will wrap up a couple of different careers for a couple of players. Ronnie Jordan, Damian Weaver, Roy Valentine, and possibly a couple other guys that we either have on the team or have previously played for us. That being said, we're going to get right down to business, and that starts with setting up the team automation. So we're going to turn scouting and management on, and we're going to turn pretty much everything on except for like league advancement. Everything else controlled by the CPU. I will keep tabs on things, but we are handing off control of the team to the CPU for our franchise. So I'll do that right now, and then we will advance to the off season and go from there. I will, though, keep untouchables off, which means that right now it's just Jordan, Weaver, and Valentine on that list, and this means that the CPU won't change that list. So I want to keep those guys there, which means that we at least won't be trading them. So obviously, guys, we are coming off of a three-peat. We beat Minnesota in 5 games. We won in front of the home fans for the first time in the series. And that was just a beautiful way to end off the series, at least prior to our long-term sim. That being said, let's take one last look at our current roster to just remember the last team that we watched. We have Ronnie Jordan, obviously, Damian Weaver, Darius Bowman, Kirk Banks, Roy Valentine, Antonio Graves, Tyler Mullen, Danny Hendricks, BJ Boston Jr., Lou Dort, OG Anunoby, Bobby Portis Jr., Martin Hayes, Saban Lee, and that's it. That is who we have. So I'll try and check every roster prior to a new season, and I'll check any trades during that year, and I'll check the records and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get started. So this year, Kyrie has retired, as has Clint Capella, Jamal Murray, Malik Monk, Jalen Brunson, and a couple of other guys that are mostly role players or otherwise. But the league is definitely changing. Doc Rivers and Mike Malone have also retired. And Kyrie enters the Hall of Fame with 21 points per game and 6 assists per game, played 1,406 games over his career. And that is a pretty incredible stat line. We move ahead to the first draft in this long-term sim. The first overall pick was Alexi Smith, 74 overall, 18 years old. He must have a high potential or something, but I'm not going to focus on these players as much as our own picks, so I'm not going to look at these guys in depth, but pretty even start to the class, and I forget if we had a first round pick or not, but if we did, it was all the way down here, and we did not have that pick, so no first rounder here for us. In the second round, we took, on the very last pick, I believe, or no, the second to last pick, we took Kurt Pearson, 71 overall, at 20 years old. He's a small forward. The CPU will accept Antonio Graves' team option, and they will extend a qualifying offer to Tyler Mullen. Okay, so in free agency, the Scouts signed shooting guard Dion Peterson and shooting guard Brandon Gray to vet minimum deals. Mullen returns on a 3-year, $53 million deal. They also bring in Zeke Naji, 3 years, $37 million, and Kirk Banks gets a pretty big extension, 4 years, $116 million. Quick look at player progression. Ronnie Jordan stays the same. Weaver goes down by 1 just a bit. Darius Bowman unchanged. Kirk Banks goes up. Antonio Graves goes up. Valentine goes down a slight bit. Hendricks goes up to 80 overall or just about. And Martin Hayes goes up, who barely played last season. Might get some more playing time this year, but we still have Kirk Banks and Bowman, so maybe not. And there you go. So start of the next season, let's check out the game plan that the CPU has chosen for us. We got Weaver, Jordan, Graves, Kirk Banks, and Zeke Naji. Then off the bench, Darius Bowman, Roy Valentine, Tyler Mullen, and Danny Hendricks. And Lou Dort also will get some playing time, but Martin Hayes, Anunoby, and the others will not be playing. But I'm going to make one small change here. Valentine needs to be starting. That is just a rule. We'll do that, and let's sim this season, I guess, and see what happens. So here are the all-star teams, and Ronnie Jordan is a starter for Team Zion. We'll check on his stats at the end of the season, but we are about to reach the all-star break, and once we do, we'll check out if we made any moves during the season in terms of trades or free agent signings, and we'll go from there. So we have just wrapped up the all-star break, and the scouts have made a couple of different moves. First, we sent down and signed a couple of players out of the G League. Not going to focus on those too much, but we did trade Anunoby for Damon Jefferson, a power forward. We re-signed Darius Bowman to a 4-year, $100 million deal. We also traded a first-round pick and Saban Lee for Larry Castro and a second. So those are the moves that we made. I'll check out any other possible extensions right now. Okay, so Ronnie Jordan wants to re-sign. So does Roy Valentine. We're going to make those moves right now. Jordan wants a lot of money, but he's going to get all of it. So our default deal here is 3 years, $41 million salary to start out, and then it goes up by around $3 million these next 2 years. We will try and do this and see if he takes it, and he does. Ronnie Jordan will stick around with us. Now, will Roy Valentine do the same? Let's find out. He wants a 3-year deal as well, and he also returns. So here's a look at our current team finances and our game plan going forward. Darius Bowman is going to stick around for quite some time, as will Ronnie Jordan. Kirk Banks here for a while as well. Roy Valentine also won a big deal. Weaver still has 2 more years left after this current one, as does Mullen and Zeke Naji. Hendricks will also be here for the next at least 2 years because of the team option. Beyond that, it's really a toss-up. So Antonio Graves could be the odd man out here. We aren't really too sure. By the way, look above the calendar, and Antonio Graves once again won the slam dunk contest. Good for him. And now for the all-star break box score, Ronnie Jordan, 12 points, 3 for 10. Not his best performance. We have reached the end of the season, and Ronnie Jordan has won his second MVP. He averaged 24 points per game, just below 6 boards, just below 6 assists, 1.4 steals. He shot just below 53%, 82% at the line, and 45% from downtown. We're going to look more into this later on, but the Scouts had a great year, as you can see top right of your screen. First in the conference and first in the power rankings in the entire league. So a really good year once again for us. We could be on the road for a 4-peat perhaps. Rookie of the year is Irving. Quinn Meeks, 6th man of the year. Giannis Depoy. Dana Riley, most improved player. Gregor Hardaway, our coach. We went 61-21 this year, and this was his, I believe, 11th year as our head coach, or somewhere along those lines. And Janeth Ball, who is also our executive, wins exec of the year. So again, the Scouts just absolutely fantastic season. Ronnie Jordan is on the All-NBA first team for the first time in a couple of seasons. Did anybody else make it for us? Feel free to pause, by the way, too, if you want to look at these guys or these teams more in depth. I will not, because this will take a while to record, so I'm trying to get all the detail for our team and not much else. All defensive first team, nobody here for us. Don't see no scouts here on the second team either. All rookie first team, nobody for us, and nobody on the second team either. So it's pretty much all Ronnie Jordan this year for us. So the Scouts are the 1 seed once again. And a couple of different teams in the playoffs here with the Pistons, Hornets, Sixers, Celtics, and Knicks. Over in the West, you got the Clippers, Lakers, Trailblazers, Grizzlies, Pelicans, and Kings. Don't see the Timberwolves. They are not even in the top 10 seeds. So they must have dropped off. And let's go check our team stats, or our player stats rather, for our team before we sim this postseason. So we already saw Jordan's stats, but what about everybody else? Weaver had 18 points per game, 5.7 assists. He shot 48% on the season, so a bit of a drop-off from last year, but not too bad of a drop-off. Meanwhile, Darius Bowman and Kirk Banks both got heavily involved this year offensively. Bowman and Banks both getting around the same kind of stats, 14 and 5 for each of them. Banks shot better than Bowman. Antonio Graves also 14 points per game, 5 boards, 4 assists. Larry Castro, coming off the bench, played pretty well, 13 points per game for him. Danny Hendricks, 10 and 5.6, so a good way to continue his solid play from last year. Usman Garuba is hurt, but he had a decent year off the bench. Tyler Mullen averaged 8 and 7 on the year. Zeke Naji also got involved. Roy Valentine ended up getting relegated more to a bench spot after I tried to change that, so I have no control over that, but Roy Valentine was no longer the starter, it seems like, despite my changing it at the start of the year. He only had 4.6 and 6.3, but I still love that guy. By the way, Jordan was the 4th highest scorer in the entire league. Not a lot of guys scoring above 25 points per game. One last thing before we move further, I wanted to show the current team records and maybe try and compare them at the end of this series, just to see what changed, what records are still there. Right now, Jordan has 4 of the top 5 points in a game. Weaver has tied for second with 48, but Jordan holds most of these records here. This is for the regular season. In the playoffs, Weaver has the top 2 spots, Jordan the next 2, and a Weaver at 5. For threes made during the regular season game, Jordan leads that with 11 in one game, Webb there at 10, and then Jordan and Weaver tied at 9 for the next couple of spots. In the playoffs, though, Wade, Webb, and Weaver are both tied with 9, but Weaver is on multiple occasions. For free throws made, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Darius Bowman are both here, but then Bridges is there for the playoffs, Ronnie Jordan there at 3rd, and then Bertans at the 4. For rebounds, the great Roy Valentine holds the top 2 spots and spot 5 during the season, but then in the playoffs, he has 4 of the top 5. Mullen also there with 22. For assists, Mitchell Palmer has the top 3 spots, then Weaver, then Quincy Cage. A lot of old names here. In the playoffs, it's Weaver, Weaver, Jordan, Jordan, Weaver. For blocks in a game, Jaren Jackson leads all players with 5 separate, or just all 5 top records. The playoffs belong to Valentine, Wiggins, Valentine, McKnight, and Valentine. That being said, let's sim this playoff run. If we get towards the finals and it's like a game that would win the entire thing, I might jump in for the last couple of minutes just to see what happens. So we'll sim a little bit and see what happens here. So first off, we are playing the Hawks in the first round. Okay, gonna pause here for a moment because we won round 1 and 5, but then we finally faced the Pistons after all this time, after so many years of not playing them after they knocked us out a couple years back. We finally faced off again, and we were down 2-0 in the series and came back in 1 and 7 and knocked them out of the playoffs. Now we face the 7-seed Wizards for a chance in the finals. Let's see what happens here. And we beat them in 5. We face the Clippers in the finals. Let's see what happens here. Well, the Clippers won this time. They went in 6. We traded the first couple of games with them. They just won 2 in a row to wrap up this series. And we lost 4-2. Let's see these box scores. But Jalen Suggs is the finals MVP. He only played 5 of the 6 games. But let's see these box scores real quick. This was game 1. Jordan dropped 36. Weaver 25. In game 2, Bowman drops 34. Graves 22. Weaver 14. Jordan only 9 points. Played only 22 minutes. And that must have been why. Jordan must have gotten hurt and we lost because of it. Weaver drops 25 in game 3. We blow them out without Ronnie Jordan. In Game 4, Weaver drops 30 and 10. Not much from other players. And Ronnie Jordan must have missed out these last couple of games in the series, and that must have been the difference maker because they won several games in a row. And now I'm curious what happened. What was the injury to Ronnie Jordan? What happened? He pulled his right calf muscle. Bowman also got hurt and sprained his left knee. We lost 2 of our top 3 to 4 players, and they missed out, and we lost because of that. That being said, on to the offseason, where Giannis has retired, as has Miles Turner, Markelle Fultz, Beasley, Bridges, Mitchell, PJ Washington. Nobody for us, though, it seems. And we will keep on marching forward. Giannis is a Hall of Famer. 22 points per game, 9 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, and just below 2 blocks per game. And he is now a Hall of Famer, as he rightfully should be. And both the Bucks and Jazz retire his jersey. Okay, so in the draft, the scouts somehow had pick 6. Not sure how this happened, but we did draft an 82 overall 18-year-old point guard who will not join the team until next year because he is on a Euro deal. But this guy could be a star player for us alongside Weaver and Jordan. This guy could be the Weaver replacement eventually. But he was by far the highest overall in this draft. The scouts pick up the options for Hendricks, Martin Hayes, and Damon Jefferson, but not for Kurt Pearson. And Graves will get a qualifying offer for this year. So here are all the moves we made after we wrapped up the year. Antonio Graves got a massive extension, 5 years, $189 million. Oh my God. Ernest Graves also comes on as a backup small forward. We also bring on Courtney Olsen and Ronald Tucker. But holy crap, Antonio Graves, what a contract. Here is player progression. Jordan at 27 goes up by 1. Bowman goes up by 1 at age 32. Banks goes down by 1. Graves up by 1. Weaver down by 2. The new point guard, no change there. Valentine down by 1. Hendricks up by 1. We have a really good roster. Martin Hayes up by 3. This guy could be a solid role player for us. Starts of the year, here is our lineup. Weaver, Jordan, Antonio Graves, Kirk Banks, and Zeke Naji, with Darius Bowman, Tyler Mullen, Danny Hendricks, Roy Valentine, and Martin Hayes coming off the bench. And then Ernest Graves, Damon Jefferson, Courtney Olsen, and Larry Castro not getting minutes, as well as a couple of other guys. But we have a really deep team. A very deep team. So here is the next All-Star draft. Ronnie Jordan, not a starter this year, but he is on the bench for Team LaMelo. His 3rd time, I believe, being an All-Star player. Nobody else, though, for us is here. We have simmed through the All-Star break, and the scouts made 2 big trades. We traded Tyler Mullen for James Bouknight, and we traded Kirk Banks and Damon Jefferson for Roman Gornev and Jalen Wood. Kirk Banks, who last year we signed to a massive deal, but Kirk Banks has left the team, and that opens the door for Bowman to be the starting power forward once again. In the All-Star game, Ronnie Jordan dropped 11 points, 7 assists, and shot 5 for 10. As for extensions, Weaver does want to re-sign, so we're going to try and do that. He wants a lot less money than he wanted last time around, so we'll offer him this deal, a 3-year extension, and he will accept. The core players stick around as always. The MVP this year was LaMelo Ball. Rookie of the year goes to Jerome Harvey. Jalen Suggs, 6th man of the year after winning Finals MVP last season. Ball gets DPOY as well. Scott Justice, most improved player. Look at that stat line. And we won Coach of the Year once again. A record just 2 wins shy of last year, but once again first in the conference and first in the power rankings. And somebody else won Exec of the Year, but once again, we have the Coach of the Year. This year, Ronnie Jordan is a All-NBA second-team player. Nobody else made the all-NBA teams for us besides Jordan. And here we are as the 1 seed once again. How we had like 6 straight finals trips. And we lost the first 2. Won 3 in a row. Lost last year, of course. And now we are the 1 seed. And we'll try to do it all over again. So let's go look at our stats real quick and then sim this playoff run. Ronnie Jordan, 24 points per game, 6 boards, 6 assists, shot 51%. Weaver, 16.7 points per game, 5.6 assists, shot 48%. Darius Bowman, who is day-to-day with an injury, 15 points per game, 6 boards. Antonio Graves, 15 points per game, 5 boards, 4.7 assists. Both guys shot decently well. James Bouknight, 10 points per game. Same for Hendricks with 5 assists. He has just had a pretty constant stat line these first couple of years in his career. And what about Roy Valentine? 4.9 and 4.9 and 6.3. And obviously Kirk Banks and Mullen are both gone. So we face the Hawks once again in the first round. Let's see how this one shakes out. Uh-oh. We swept the first 2 rounds. We won in 7 against the Sixers. We are in the finals once again, and we have a rematch against Ball and Scott Justice and Minnesota. Can we do the same thing as last time, 2 years back from last episode? Can we beat them once again? I'm going to send this one game by game and see if we can jump in the last game, perhaps. I have simmed 3 games, and the Scouts lead it 3-0. Let's see if we can win Game 4 and have our 4th ring. With 20 seconds to go, Minnesota is out of time. We are going to sweep them in the finals as we will take Game 4, 104-94. A sweep once again for us in the finals. That makes it 3 of our 4 wins have been sweeps. As this game comes to a close, we are champions once again. Where is Ronnie Jordan? I don't see him, but the Scouts will celebrate. A couple of new faces over here, but still the same team at heart. Oh, so now they're going to show this. I see how it is. But there's your coach of the year. At least 2 times running, Gregor Hardaway. I see Danny Hendricks. I see Antonio Graves. I see Bouknight. And then on the right side, we should have Weaver and Jordan somewhere. But Hardaway raises that trophy. We are champions for the 4th time.
Your Bill Russell Finals MVP.
The Finals MVP goes to Damian Weaver. So he and Jordan are both tied with 2 Finals MVPs apiece. Add 1 more to our trophy case. Weaver averaged 28.8 points per game, 4 boards and 7 assists, and he shot 60% from both the field and from behind the arc. An absolutely clinical shooting performance here in the finals. And let's see if Jordan actually played in any of these games, because I did not see him out there at all. In Game 1, Jordan, did he get hurt again? There's no way. But Bouknight 28, Weaver 25. In Game 2, Weaver 35 and 10. So he put us on his back in this series. Graves 23, Weaver 17 and 10. And in Game 4, he had 38 to put the Timberwolves to sleep. Ronnie Jordan was hurt. He missed the finals almost entirely once again. A poor lower back pretty much ended his season. So a couple of rough years in the playoffs for him. But Weaver puts the team on his back and carries us to a win. And can't really ask for much more than that. More retirements for you. Jokic is gone. John Collins, Ben Simmons, and Anunoby is gone. Anthony Simons, and a couple of role players down here. But once again, nobody for us as far as I can tell. Jokic makes the Hall of Fame. But how does Ben Simmons get here? I don't care about that stat line. I don't care. Ben Simmons does not deserve this at all. And the Sixers of all teams retire his jersey? Yeah, right. Our first round pick in the next draft was Cody Weber, another point guard. So we have a lot of good point guards on our team. He was a 74 overall, 18 years old. And that other guy from overseas is going to join our team as well behind Weaver and Hendricks. So we have a lot of guards on this squad. We also took this guy who will probably not be signed in the end. Anybody else for us here in this round? No. We signed Weber. We also signed the guy from overseas who is now at 83 overall. Yeah, we're going to have a good team once again. I can feel it. We pick up the options for Hendricks and for Hayes for next season. The Scouts made no big moves this year, so we're going to continue on. Oh my. Jordan goes up by 1, but this point guard dude right here, Dario Jovanovic, 35 badges, 88 overall. This guy is a complete stud at 19 years old. He might start. No, he is going to start above Weaver now. Weaver's going to be coming off the bench now, folks. As weird to say as it is, especially on his big deal. This guy, you have to play him. You have to start this guy. He's insane. But we have an absolutely star-studded roster. Valentine goes down by 3, though, so he is for sure regressing. Might not even play that much this next season, but we are loaded at point guard. We've got Jovanovic, Weaver, and Hendricks. We are good to go. So starts of the year, here is the lineup. You've got Jovanovic, you've got Jordan, you've got Graves, Bowman, and Gornev. An absolutely loaded starting lineup. Then to boot, you have Weaver off the bench. Like, this can't get any better for a team. Then you have Martin Hayes, Hendricks, Najee, and Jackson. Valentine will be a Udonis Haslam kind of role, I guess, going forward. And, yeah, we have a crazy team. So here are the All-Star teams, and Ronnie Jordan is not on either of them. We have nobody on either list. So that is concerning for sure. We have simmed through the All-Star break, and once again, we made 2 big trades. We traded Roman Gornev, our starting center, and a first-round pick for Gafford and Ronnie Becker. And then we traded Darius Bowman and Connor Outlaw for Eddie Moncrief and Ross Temple. So Bowman is gone to the Hawks. Okay, so a couple of contracts here to extend. I'm not going to do anything except for Roy Valentine. He wants to re-sign, and he wants a small deal. And we want to keep him around, obviously, because he's that kind of guy. So we'll offer him probably like a 3-year deal, and he takes it. We have reached the end of the year, and Ball once again wins MVP. Barry Carter, Rookie of the Year. Trey Mann, Sixth Man of the Year. Evan Mobley, Depoy. Harris Oakley, Most Improved Player. And we once again have the Coach of the Year. And as you can see, top right, once again, first in the conference, first in power rankings. So, great job by us. By the way, Jovanovic is an all-rookie first-team player. We had nobody else on the all-NBA teams, though. So here are the player stats for the year, and Jordan once again got hurt, and he was hurt during the All-Star break, too. He had like a dislocated patella or some crap like that, but this dude is getting hurt so much more often now. And right now he has a left foot stress fracture for 1 to 2 weeks, so he's going to miss the first round probably of the playoffs. But he's still our top scorer, 19 points per game, 6 boards, 6 assists, and he's shooting pretty well. Jovanovic, 17 points per game, 4 boards, 5 assists. He's like a mini Ronnie Jordan, perhaps. He's 2 inches shorter, but it's going to be as good in like another year or two, most likely. Weaver, though, 16.5 points per game, 4.8 assists. He shot very well. Antonio Graves, 14 points per game, 5 and 4 as well. Along with it, Eddie Moncrief, the new starting power forward, 13 points per game, 8.6 boards. Denny Hendricks, the typical 10 and 5, but almost 6. He's very close to being a 6 assists per game kind of player off the bench. But Roy Valentine barely played. In the playoffs, we face the Sixers here in the first round. Let's see what happens. The Scouts are back in the finals once again. Even the CPU can't lose with us. We swept round 1, won our next 2 series in 5 games each, and now we face the 1 seed Portland Trail Blazers here in the finals. Let's sim game by game, but first, is anybody hurt or out? Ronnie Jordan is back. Okay, we have a full team. Nobody's hurt. Perfect. The Scouts now lead 3-1 in the finals. Is this another win for us in this series? Guys, we are here in Game 5 in Portland, up by 2, 1:25 to go, with the ball, trying to secure another finals win. Hendricks finds Jovanovic at the rim for a bucket, 4-point lead. Jovanovic is special, and I want to see a couple of plays from him. So, of course, Weaver not out there in the clutch because he's no longer a starter. But let's see what happens. Ramos for 3. He knocks it down. A huge shot. 1-point game. 1 minute to play. Can the Scouts hold on, or will Portland keep their finals hopes alive? Hendricks for 3. The point guard. It's offline. We're just going to watch this game the whole way through, I guess. They've got, I believe that's DeJounte Murray out there, along with Guillermo Ramos. I see Mitchell Robinson out there as Murray gets inside and lays that one in. So Portland up by 1 now. And here's Ronnie Jordan with the ball. What does he have to cook up? Gonna waste some time. Takes the screen, finds a lane, in for the layup. We're back in front. 22 seconds left. Portland calls timeout to advance the ball. Can the home crowd will their team to a win? Portland has the ball and possibly the final shot of this game. Ramos has it off the screen. He will step back and fire. The shot is off, but it's slammed back in by Bowen. Now we call timeout, and we have a chance to win this game with a buzzer beater, perhaps. 9 seconds to play. Who do the Scouts turn to? Ronnie Jordan has the ball. What does he do? He's double team. He finds. Who is this? I don't know. But he missed the shot. Portland wins it. I think that was Eddie Moncrief missing the wide open corner 3 that would have won the finals. And Portland keeps their hopes alive. We're not done here.
Thank you to everyone for coming out and supporting your teams. Please get home safely.
The Scouts return home for Game 6. Can we close it out this time? Right now, Portland leads in the second half. We're trying to close the gap. We head to the fourth quarter. Still kind of a close game, as we have cut their lead down to just a couple of points. But they're still in front. But now we're in front. We're trading leads here. We have to jump in. 1:02 to go. They lead by 2. Let's find out how this game ends. So at home in crunch time, Weaver is on the court with Jovanovic and Ronnie Jordan. Let's see how we handle the last few seconds of this one. Murray pulls up. The shot is off, but Robinson got it back, and Weaver gets to steal a huge play in crunch time. We have a chance to tie this game or take the lead. Weaver off the screen. Gets inside and dunks to tie things up. That's why he's out there. All tied up. Murray has the ball. He goes to Bowen. Bowen. Now Murray. He takes the screen from Bowen, but Weaver covers that well. 5 on the shot clock. A stop here is crucial. Murray has to fire. The shot is off, and Najee gets the board. We call timeout. A chance to, this time, hit a buzzer beater and win the finals. Another chance. Let's find out what happens. 5.5 on the clock. Weaver checks out. The scouts will go to Jovanovic. He has to jack one up. It's overtime basketball here in Game 6 at the Sprint Center, folks. We're not done yet. We're going to flash ahead once we win this tip. We actually lost it, but we're going to sim ahead a few minutes and see where things are with like 2 to go. 1:30 left. We're down by 4, but we do have the ball. A chance to close this lead. Jovanovic has it. He goes to Ronnie Jordan. Back to Jovanovic, who is slightly injured right now, but he takes a screen. He will try and get inside, but can't. He's locked up. 5 on the clock. Najee to Moncrief for a 3, and this time he hits a big one. 1-point game. Nice shot there by Eddie Moncrief as Weaver heads to the scorer's table. Murray's got the ball. He takes that screen. He pump fakes, then does not fire. Bowen's got it now. Now Oakley, now Toscano. 5 on the clock for Portland. Oakley fires. Jordan gets the stop. The ball goes not out of bounds. Moncrief grabs it. A chance for us to take the lead on this possession. Najee mismatch down low on Oakley. The spin and the bucket. 1-point lead for the Scouts as Portland calls timeout. 30 seconds to play. We've got Weaver, Jordan, Graves, Moncrief, and Najee out there. Murray's got the ball. He goes back to Baylor. 10 on the clock for Portland. Oakley at the baseline. He goes back to Murray for an open jumper. It's good. Portland leads by 1. 11 seconds left. We advance the ball. 10.9 on the clock. Weaver and Jordan still out there. Moncrief inbounds. Who do we go to? Who takes the last shot? I think it's going to be Ronnie Jordan. What does he do? Open shot. It's good. Ronnie Jordan. 1 second left and a 1-point lead for us. The game is over. The Scouts have ring number 5. The game winner by Ronnie Jordan. Are you kidding me? What a shot by that man right there. Ronnie damn Jordan. 2 rings in a row for us once again. And we could be on our way to a second three-peat next season. But what a shot by Ronnie Jordan. One of the most clutch shots of all time to clinch the series. Unbelievable. They're going to skip the ceremony once again, apparently. We just can't watch it when it's at home. The Scouts get ring number 5, and Ronnie Jordan is once again your Finals MVP. His 3rd career Finals MVP. 24 points per game, just below 6 boards and 6 assists, 1.3 steals, and he shot fantastic from both spots on the court. What a player. Before we sim ahead, I want to check these box scores real quick. In Game 1, Weaver dropped 20, Jordan dropped 15 points. In Game 2, Jordan dropped 47, 10, and 6. Oh my Christ. And Weaver dropped 21. In Game 3, Jordan dropped 22 and 9. Weaver had 17 points. In Game 4, Jordan 24, Weaver 18, Jovanovic 18, a big double-double there for Moncrief. In Game 5, Weaver 35, Jovanovic 22, Jordan 21. A new big three here in Kansas City, and it's a guard-heavy big three as well. In Game 6, Jordan 19, 7 and 6 with the game winner. MyNBA 16 points, Hendricks 10, Weaver 9. Onwards to retirements. Devin Booker and Cat both retire, as does Jaylen Brown, De'Aaron Fox, Kristaps, Jaren Jackson Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Jarrett Allen, Kevin Porter Jr., Achua, Reddish, and others. Anybody that we recognize from our time. There was Bones Highland, who played for us for a year or two. But these other guys, don't really know these guys that well. Cat and Jaren Jackson are Hall of Famers. And Booker's jersey gets retired by the Suns. Cat has his Bulls and Timberwolves ones retired as well. In the draft, the Scouts took another Euro stash player. Some guy from, I think, Greece. I can't pronounce that name, but he's a center. He's a 73 overall, 20 years old. Could be a solid player for us next year, perhaps. Danny Hendricks will get a qualifying offer this season, worth $15 million. So a couple of moves here by the Scouts. We signed Gafford and Najee to new deals, as well as Martin Hayes. We bring in Jonathan McGuire and Ronnie Becker, Cole Baxter, Pat Terry, and Hendricks on that qualifying offer. Player progression. Jordan is starting to decrease, or regress in terms of his overall, down by 2 to a 92/91 at 29 years old. Jovanovic up to a 92. This guy, I can't believe we got another guy that is on Jordan's level. That is absurd. Graves goes down by 1. Hayes up by 3. Moncrief and Hendricks at 80 overall. Weaver down by 3. His regression is picking up steam at his early 30s. Gafford down by 1. And the rest of these guys we don't really care about that much because we don't even know them. But Valentine, the Udonis Haslam out of our team, goes down by 2 as well. So, the new season, here is the lineup. You got Jovanovic and Jordan, the side-by-side 91 overall guards. Will start together alongside Graves, Hayes, and Najee. Off the bench, you have Moncrief, Hendricks, Gafford, McGuire, and Temple. Weaver is not there. He must be hurt or something. I don't even see him on the team. What happened? No. We waived Weaver? No way. That cannot be allowed to happen. Oh no. Weaver is not a free agent. He got signed by somebody else. No. No. He was a scout for life. He was untouchable. I'm trying to find him. I can't find Weaver. Hold on. What's going on here? The Sixers have him. They signed him to a 3-year, $47 million deal. I can't believe the CPU's done this to me. To us. Weaver's on a different team. That being said, these things do happen. We have to accept this. We also have to sim this season. So let's find out what happens without Weaver on this team. Are we as good? Here are the All-Star teams for this season. Ronnie Jordan, once again, a backup player for Team LaMelo. But nobody else for us on this list again. Actually, no. Jovanovic is on the right side in the reserves for Team Cade. So we have these two guys. I mean, they both should probably be here for sure, you know. They're both great players. We have reached the end of the All-Star break, and the Scouts made one trade, and it was to trade McGuire for Andre Thompson, so nothing to note here. And in the All-Star game, Jovanovic with 6 points. Ronnie Jordan had 5. So now we have more extensions to make, and it's once again a semi-contract year for Jordan. We can do it this year or next year, but I just want to get this out of the way, make sure he's here for the long term. So let's try and get him up to, I can't do more than 3 years, so we'll just offer this, and he will stick around once again. The Scouts had another monster year, but LaMelo Ball wins another MVP. Will Sims, Rookie of the Year. Edmund Grant, Sixth Man of the Year. LaMelo, Depoy once again. Rob House, most improved player. We get Coach of the Year again with a 66-16 record. We had a slow start the first couple of weeks, but after that, we were absolutely bonkers. And we don't get this award this year. Ronnie Jordan makes the All-NBA third team, but once again is hurt at the start of the playoffs. High left ankle sprain, 6 to 8 weeks. Come on, man. Give this guy a break already. He also made the all-defensive first team, but 4 of the 5 players here all have ankle sprains or some kind of ankle injury. The MVP broke his ankle. Jesus Christ. Your stats for this year: 21 points per game for Ronnie Jordan, 5.7 boards, 6.1 assists, 1.6 steals, and he shot very well. Jovanovic just below 21 points per game. He had 4.6 boards, 5.7 assists. Once again, just barely worse than Jordan in pretty much every category. Eddie Moncrief, 13 points per game, 7 to 8 boards. Graves, 13 points per game, 5 boards, 4 assists. Martin Hayes, 12 and 8. Hendricks up to 12 and 6 this year, so improved there with more playing time. And Roy Valentine played, I think, like a couple of minutes this year. The Scouts this year will face Toronto in the first round. Let's see how this playoff run shakes out. And just like that, the streak of finals appearances has come to an end because we didn't have Ronnie Jordan, man. Why does he have to get hurt? He lost in 5 to the Knicks in the second round after beating Toronto in 5. Jordan, of course, at this point still out with the injury. Jovanovic also got hurt with a sprained left knee. Graves got hurt, sore right knee. And our year is done. And the champion ends up being the New York Knicks of all teams. Really. That is unrealistic. The Finals MVP goes to Zach Montgomery, who has been developing the entire time these last couple of years, and he had a great Finals appearance. 29 points per game, just below 6 boards, just below 6 assists, and he shot well too. On to retirements. BI is done, as is Bam Adebayo, DeJounte Murray, Marvin Bagley, Mitchell Robinson, DeAndre Ayton, Colin Sexton, Harrow, Gafford, Hayes, Mobley, Trey Mann, Carter, Maxi Dortz. Darius Bowman has retired as a Hawk. Let's look at his stats. Age finally caught up with him. He's also hurt, so that makes sense for him to retire after playing for 13 to 14 years. He's age 35. So Roy Valentine lasted longer than Bowman did, but he also got taken in our second year in this franchise. So let's look at his stats year by year. Yeah, he dislocated his right patella, but let's look at his awards. Obviously won all of his rings with us. 4 out of 5 years in that stretch for him. He was part of the three-peat. 1 All-Star appearance, 1 first-team All-Rookie, and what were his end-up stats? So he ends up in his last year, 15 points per game, 7 boards, 2.5 assists, shot only 41%. He was traded last year, obviously. He's had a pretty consistent career ever since he joined our team. I mean, you can't really ask for more than a 16.5 point per game kind of guy with 6.2 boards over his career. 1 steal and 1 block per game. Shot 45%, 40% from downtown, 82% at the line. Can't really ask for more than that. A 30-minute per game kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, you can't really want more. 16,000 points, 6,000 boards, 2.5 thousand assists, just below 1K steals and 1K blocks. Yeah, he was a great player for us. Played for us for 5 and a half seasons for us. 5.5. So he was a big part of those championship teams. And now he's done. RJ Barrett also done. Is there anybody else that we recognize here that we know from our team? I don't think so. BI, Bam, and Aiden all make the Hall of Fame. Pretty good stat lines for all these guys. Meanwhile, Sexton, Mobley, BI, and DeAndre Aiden all get their retired jerseys hung up in the rafters. BI has both his Pelicans and Sonics one up in the rafters for those teams. And yeah, there you go. By the way, I forgot Weaver's stats for this year when he played for the Sixers of all teams. 19 points per game, 5 assists. He shot 48% from the field, 43% from downtown, 90% at the line. Really good year for him. Kind of like a bounce back year, honestly. So good for him. I wish we could have kept him around, but Jovanovic, really good. Hendricks at this point is a higher overall. So it kind of did make a bit of sense for that to happen, but he played for us for so long. And he might come back. Who knows? This draft, the scouts took Clifford Wright Foreman, 73 overall, 18-year-old center. Could be a good piece for us in a couple of years. Also, the Greek guy from last year's draft is now signed to a deal, but he's not very good. We also pick up Jovanovic's 2-year team option. Makes sense. So here are the moves we made. A couple of short-term deals, but then Danny Hendricks will stick around for the long term. A 4-year, $96 million deal to be our backup point guard. He has been really good for us off the bench. Now player progression. Jovanovic up to a 93 overall, surpassing Ronnie Jordan, who is at a 92. He went up this year and gained another badge as well. So he is still playing some fantastic basketball at 30 years old. He's not done yet. He might become like the second focal point. I don't know if the CPU will change focusing play through him. But we could see Jovanovic maybe surpass him a little bit. Jovanovic, by the way, has had an incredible career arc. This guy is insane, by the way. But Graves, 83, he stays pretty much the same. And Hendricks, still 80 overall. But no big moves here besides the top two guys. Your lineup for this new year is Jovanovic, Jordan, Graves, Martin Hayes, and Zignaji, followed by Moncrief, Hendricks, Ross Temple, Andre Thompson, and Ronnie Becker. And then we still have Roy Valentine, of course, in that same Haslam role. Okay, so the next All-Star draft, Scott Justice is now a team captain in the All-Star game, and Jovanovic and Jordan both will play on his team. Jovanovic will start, and Jordan will come off the bench again. But I like seeing both these guys here. That means they have had good years so far, and hopefully are not hurt at all. The scouts made no crazy moves or trades this year. Meanwhile, Ronnie Jordan scores 8 points in the All-Star game, and Jovanovic puts up 7. Okay, so contract extensions. We have Graves here. I'm going to try and sign him because he's been a vital piece of this team for a while now. And we're going to offer him this deal, and he will stick around. The year comes to an end, and Dario Jovanovic is on top of the league, winning his first MVP. The scouts have another one. 21, 5, and 6 for him on the year, and he shot fantastic from all 3 spots on the courts. Wow, he is. I cannot believe that the CPU drafted him for us, and he's this good. That is crazy. Meanwhile, Eklund wins Rookie of the Year. This guy is crazy too. A very similar stat line to Jovanovic. Riley, 6th Man of the Year. Scott Justice, Depoy. Skip Milton, Most Improved Player. 28 points per game. My word, this guy is really good. And we get Coach of the Year again. Gregor Hardaway has been like a Greg Popovich kind of guy for us, huh? We also got this award this year too. Cool. Jovanovic is an All-NBA first-team player this season. And Ronnie Jordan not on the All-NBA teams, as a matter of fact. But he is on the All-Defensive second team, and he's also out right now with a sprained right wrist, but he is day-to-day, so he could come back any second before the playoffs begin. So stats for this year, we saw Jovanovic. We did not see Ronnie Jordan's stats. He averaged 18 points per game, 5.4 boards and assists, 1.6 steals. He shot very well. And Antonio Graves, 13 points per game, 5.2 boards, 4.6 assists. So Jovanovic has kind of taken the torch, as you might say, as the focal point. But Ronnie Jordan is still, very, very good. Obviously, these guys are the best duo in the entire league for sure. Hendricks, by the way, is hurt, but he got 12 and 6.5 this year, just like last year. And we still have Roy Valentine, but he did not play a single second this season. We face Milwaukee in the first round of this playoff run here in 2037. Let's sim and see how it goes. After 1 year off, the Scouts are back in the finals. We swept our first 2 series. We beat the Sixers in 6 games. Do they still have Weaver, by the way? They do. We took down Damian Weaver in the Eastern Conference Finals. And he's taken more of a backseat role this year as he goes down to a 77 overall. But still, we took down one of our favorite players. But we face the Denver Nuggets here in the finals. They have only lost 1 playoff game so far. They swept round 1, 1-5, and then swept Memphis in the Western Conference Finals. How does this final series go? The Nuggets lead 3-2 as we head to Game 6, and we lose. The Nuggets win, I believe, their first championship of the series. Scouts fall, and Arthur Ellis, a scout from way back, is your finals MVP. He's been there for a while. He was drafted by them, then we traded for him, and now they have him back, and he's been there for a long time. He had 17 points per game, 7.8 boards, and he shot pretty well too. So we get taken down by a former scout in the finals. Let's look at the box scores real quick. Ronnie Jordan, 21 points. Jovanovic, 14. Graves, 13. Hendricks, 9 in Game 1. Then in Game 2, we got blown out. 16 for Jovanovic, only 11 for Ronnie Jordan. 8 for Hendricks, 6 for Graves. Game 3, Jovanovic 17, Jordan 12 and 10, Graves 12, Hendricks 9. In Game 4, Jordan 29, Jovanovic 18 and 10, Graves 17, Hendricks 8. In Game 5, Jovanovic 25, Jordan 21, Hendricks 10, 7 and 7, Graves 8. And in Game 6, where we fell, we had 31 for Jordan, 22 for Jovanovic, 18 for Graves, and Hendricks had no points, 0 for 5. But that is the story of this season. Retirements. Lonzo Ball is done, as is Jason Tatum, and Trae Young, and SGA, and Kobe White, and Poku, and Vassell, and Sadiq Bey. Jalen Suggs is done. Keon Johnson, Zeke Naji, our starting center. Anybody else for us or that we've had on this team before? Roman Gornev is gone. But a lot of players that we have known the names of. Ivan Raja is done after 11 seasons. But I don't see anybody else that we really recognize too much besides BJ Boston up there. But yeah, we can keep on going. We're not done. Tatum, Trae Young, and Shea are all Hall of Famers. And they all get their retired jerseys hung up in the rafters for their respective teams. Trae Young goes for both the Hawks and for the Grizzlies. So, good for him. No draft picks of note for us, and Jovanovic gets his team deal once again for this upcoming season at 94 overall. Our moves this offseason were to extend Moncrief and Hayes, and that's pretty much it besides on a couple of guys on some short or just small deals. Player progression. Jovanovic gets even better, up to a 95 overall. Jordan down by a 1 to a 92 or 91. Graves 83. Martin Hayes 83. Hendricks up to 81. And Valentine now is below 70. I think he's going to retire in a year or two. The lineup for this year: Jovanovic, Jordan, Graves, Hayes, and we have Wright Foreman as the starting center, and he's not that good. Then we have Hendricks, Moncrief, Ross Temple, Ronnie Becker, and the Greek center. And then we still have, of course, Roy Valentine. We have reached the All-Star draft, but before that, just want to point out, we're on a 15-game win streak right now. We're on top of the entire league. Oh, would you look at that? Ronnie Jordan's the team captain for the first time, I think, in the All-Star game. It's finally happened. He's a captain alongside Brad Ryder. And he drafted Jovanovic. I love that. That's so cool. The Scouts made no big moves this year. We also had Team Ronnie lose in the All-Star game to Team Brad. Jovanovic drops 28, and Jordan got hurt in this game, scoring 8 points, and he's out for, I think, the next week or two. But Jovanovic, 28 points. How about that? This guy is, I think, probably the top player by overall in the league now. That's just absurd to me. And now contract extensions. Valentine wants another one. We're going to give that to him, of course. He wants a 1-year deal. I'll make it 2 just to be safe. And he accepts. We finish off the year, and Jovanovic once again wins MVP with 21, 5, and 6.5. 1 steal per game. Shot fantastic. Arnold gets Rookie of the Year. Hendricks, 6th Man of the Year. Love that for him. 13.8 and 7.2. How about his career arc? It's been pretty cool to watch. Scott Justice Depoy, Kirk Whitehead, Most Improved Player, Gregor Hardaway with a 65 and 17 record. We were absolutely crazy this year. We also win this again. We're crazy. Jovanovic, All-NBA first team. Ronnie Jordan, All-Defensive first team. We are, of course, the 1 seed once again. But here are some team stats. We saw the stats for Jovanovic. Ronnie Jordan, though, 19 points per game, 6 boards, 5 assists per game, 52% from the field this season. Danny Hendricks is now our 3rd scoring option, 13.8 and 7.2 off the bench. This guy is really good off the bench for us, man. Antonio Graves, 13 points per game, 4 boards, 4 assists, and yeah. And we face Detroit in the first round. Can we please sweep these guys? Let's find out. We're going to watch this unfold. We do sweep them. Now we're going to play Washington here in the second round. Nobody's hurt, I don't think. And we take this series in 5. Now we're going to play Philly once again, who I believe still have Weaver. I'll check that in a moment. And we come back and win. We were down 3-1 in the series. We come back and win. Now we've got to face the Lakers and I believe Cade Cunningham here in the finals. The Lakers don't have Cade, but they do have Devin Cartwright, our former point guard, who hasn't been with us for quite some time now. But they have him. We have our guys. Did Weaver play for the Sixers in this series? I don't... Oh, no, he did not play in Game 7. Or in Game 1. I don't think he played at all. Damn. He is down to like a 75 overall or whatever. But again, back in the finals. We're back in the finals. We lost last year. We're going to go for it again. Still looking for Ring 6, I believe. Let's see what happens here. The Lakers trying to add to their massive tally of championships. The Scouts now lead 3-2 as we head, I believe, on the road for Game 6. We hop in with 1:15 to play. The Scouts lead by 8. LA is out of time. The Scouts have the ball and are 1 minute from winning ring number 6. Hayes for 3 will put the dagger in from downtown. And the Lakers are going to lose in front of their home fans. Oh my God, Jovanovic just broke Cartwright's ankles. Wow. Our new star point guard breaks the ankles of our former backup point guard from so long ago. The clock will run out here. The Scouts win 103-90. We have ring number 6 thanks to winning Game 6 on the road. The Lakers are sitting home packing, and we add our 6th Larry O'Brien trophy to our trophy case. Led by Ronnie Jordan and Dario Jovanovic. What a team this is. What a legacy. What a franchise we have become.
One team has emerged victorious. The NBA champions. Congratulations to the whole organization.
We've still got Hendricks and Graves. We've got Jordan, Jovanovic. We still have the head coach, Gregor Hardaway, as he will lift this trophy here in a moment. As Adam Silver hands it off. That marks number 6 in the rafters for us, folks. Now, who is the MVP?
Finals MVP.
It's Ronnie Jordan, baby! Let's go! Look at that, check these box scores. That's number 4 for him. And there you go. The Scouts refuse to be done winning chips. And Ronnie Jordan averaged 25 points per game, 4.2 boards and 5.8 assists and 2.3 steals. And shot fantastic here in this finals over 6 games in a row. That is fantastic. What a career he has put together, man. He is the best player I've ever seen on 2K. Jovanovic in game 1 had 19 points. Hendricks 20 and 10. Jordan 28 points. In game 2, Jordan drops 36. Jovanovic 27. Hendricks 12. In game 3, Jovanovic 22. Jordan 18 and 10. In game 4, 22 for Jovanovic, 21 for Jordan, 18 for Graves, 16 for Hendricks. And game 5, we had 24 for Jordan, 23 and 10 for Hendricks. What a player he's become. Seriously, I can't say that enough. And then in game 6, Ronnie Jordan, 24 points. Jovanovic, 27, 9, and 6. Just fantastic duo with Jovanovic and with Ronnie Jordan. More retirements for you. Luka is done, as is Darius Garland and Zion and Danny Avdia, Patrick Williams, Talen Horton-Tucker, Kuminga, Davion Mitchell. Mitchell Palmer is done at age 36. He really kind of turned his career around. I'm surprised that he found a team every year. There's no way, right? How many teams did this guy play for? He played for us, obviously, then goes to New York, then to Atlanta with Team 3, Team 4, Miami, Team 5, Milwaukee, Team 6, the Clippers. 6 teams over 16 seasons, and he was a good role player after all, but he was not worth a 3rd overall pick, that's for sure. And that is a regret that I will forever live with, to be honest. Also, Quincy Cage has retired, who was also a miss at point guard for us. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't good either. And he played for 9 years before retiring at age 35. Luka, Zion, Garland, all 3 Hall of Famers. Had some good stat lines there for them. Meanwhile, Zion has 2 different retired jerseys. Garland's got 1, Kuminga's got 1 for the Celtics, and Luka's got 1 for the Mavericks, of course. Our first draft pick was Bert Floyd, another young center, 7 foot tall. Qualifying offer has been sent out for Jovanovic, trying to, well, we're probably going to extend him to like a massive contract, considering he's the best player in the entire league right now these last couple of years. So here were our moves. And we had one big one. We re-sign Jovanovic to a 4-year, $189 million contract. Absolutely insane. Player progression. Jovanovic up to a 96. Jordan down to a 90/91, but still a top player at age 32. Graves goes down by 2. Hendricks still the same. And Roy Valentine down by 2. He just keeps going down. So start of the year, and Weaver is a free agent. I'm going to try and bring him on into a similar role as to Roy Valentine. And T takes the deal. He's back. So here is the lineup this year. Jovanovic, Jordan, Graves, Hayes, Wright Foreman, just like last year. Then Hendricks, Moncrief, Rudy Patrick, Ronnie Becker, and Dustin Cassell. And then obviously our reserves, Valentine and Weaver, will hopefully retire scouts. We have reached the All-Star draft, and the scouts this year are 48-8, and we have won 14 games in a row. This team just somehow gets better. And apparently Antonio Graves is on the trading block. Why? Meanwhile, Jordan no longer a team captain here. Neither is Jovanovic, but Jovanovic is an all-star. Ronnie Jordan is also an all-star again on the bench for Team Johan. Meanwhile, Jovanovic drops 24 in the all-star game. Jordan drops 5. And now some more contract extensions for Jordan and for Hendricks. I want to re-sign both guys. Ronnie Jordan wants a 3-year extension. We're going to offer this to him. He accepts. Danny Hendricks wants this deal. We're going to offer it to him. He stays around. The Scouts have been the best team all year long, and Jovanovic has been the best player 3 years in a row. His 3rd straight MVP, Dario Jovanovic, 24, 5 and 6.5, 1 steal, and shot even better than last season. McDaniel wins Rookie of the Year. This guy was like an 84 overall draft pick. He went 1st overall. Ben Levens, 6th Man of the Year. Depoy, Ronald Tavares, Ralph Daniel, Most Improved Player. Gregor Hardaway, another great year and another Coach of the Year award. He just wins them all. And we once again are the Executive of the Year. We just keep on going. All-NBA first team, Jovanovic is there. And Martin Hayes made the 3rd team. Ronnie Jordan not on either of these. And he is on the all-defensive 2nd team along with Jovanovic. Let's go. Some more stats for this year. We saw these stats for Jovanovic. What about Ronnie Jordan? 18.7 points per game, 5.6 boards, 5 assists. He shot 50%. Moncrief and Hayes both had good years. Danny Hendricks, 13.6 and 7.1. He has shot a lot better this year. Antonio Graves has been or is hurt and has been hurt. Not a good year for him. And I'm pretty sure he's no longer a starter because he's gone down a little bit in overall, and his points per game and boards per game are all lower than it was last year. But we still have Weaver and Roy on the roster as our mascots, I guess. But Valentine's at 64 overall somehow. We face the Pacers this year in the 1st round. Let's see how this playoff run goes. Well, we fell short. We lost in the 1st round. How? Somebody had to have gotten hurt. They had to. What the heck happened here? We lost in 5 with Jovanovic and Ronnie Jordan. I don't believe that. Who do the Pacers have? Who do they have? Okay, game 1. We played well. We put up 153 at game 1. We actually they backdoor swept us. Game 2. We lost in overtime. Game 3, we lost in overtime. Game 4, we lost by 7. Game 5, we lost by 9. How do we choke this? How? I guess it was bound to happen eventually. I guess we can keep on moving along to the playoffs, I guess. The Pacers win the 2nd round. And they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals to the eventual champions, the Washington Wizards. They took down Denver in the finals. And Will Parks is the finals MVP, 25 points per game, 11 assists. And he shot extremely well. Okay, so retirements. John Morant is officially done, as is Ant Edwards and Okoro and Tyrese Halliburton and James Wiseman and Usman Garuba, Josh Giddey, and Damian Weaver is also done. At age 36, he played 16 seasons in the league. They're not showing his stats for this year because he didn't play a single second on the court. But a second-round pick 14 by the Trailblazers, and he was the franchise focal point for a long time for us. He was our first truly great player on this team. In his first year, 18 points per game for Portland, but then he had the back injury. I think he broke his back or his spine or something. But then we took a chance. We signed him when he was like a 63 overall because of the injury. We brought him on. We waited a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and he came on, and he was just special the entire way through. I don't think he'll be a Hall of Famer. His stat lines just aren't good enough. He's a 6-foot point guard that was just a scorer like exclusively and could pass the ball later on in his career, but I don't think he's going to make the Hall of Fame. But year by year, episode by episode, game by game, he was great for us. So many moments, buzzer beaters, big shots, memories, and he retires as a Scout, as he always should have. So that's how his story ends in our bench. Career stats: 19 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists per game, 1.1 steal, 0.1 block, 50% field goal percentage, 44% career from behind the arc, 85% at the line, 19.6 thousand points, 5,000 assists, 1,000 steals. Yeah, this guy was something special, folks. 28.5 thousand minutes played in the NBA. He started 776 games, played in 1,000 of them. Look at that career plus minus. 4.6K. Special player. We'll see if, we are going to retire his jersey for sure. If we don't, I'm going to have some words for our top brass. We'll keep going though. Wade Webb is also done. Another franchise legend at 35 years old. 16 years, just like Weaver. 6'3" shooting guard. Played for a lot of teams. Hasn't played for us in quite some time, but he was fun to watch. He was also a second-round pick. He played for us through the 2029 season. Got his real chance with the Pacers. Played pretty well. Went on to greener pastures there in Minnesota for a season where we faced him in the finals. Then on to Houston. Then to Boston. Then to a trade to San Antonio. And, yeah. He's done. The same draft as Darius Bowman. 12.6 points per game. 3.5 boards. 3.1 assists. 46% from the field. 44% just like Weaver from downtown. 85% just like Weaver at the line. Yeah. 15,000 points. $3,000 threes made. 28.9K minutes. Started over 600 games. Played in more games than Weaver did in his career. And Weaver and Webb, the two silk shooters, are both done. They retired together. One as a scout and one as a free agent, but both scouts in our hearts. Anybody else? This guy, Marty Fisher. Look at him trying to overshadow the retirements of Weaver and Webb. Can't believe that. I don't think anybody else has retired that we know. Hall of Famers, John Morant and Anthony Edwards. And as we expected, Weaver is not among this list. But he should be among this one. And he is the first ever retired jersey in Scouts history, Damian Weaver, 2024 to 2035. And also, they forgot the last year, but he never played. So, we retired the first ever jersey in franchise history. Number 4 will never be worn again, and it shouldn't be. What a season. What a career for him. What a series for him after being a second-round pick, after breaking his back, his spine. What a career to come back from that. Tyrese Halliburton gets his retire with the Raptors. John Morant with the Grizzlies, of course. But Weaver, he is officially gone. So moving on, no big moves for us. No draft picks that were meaningful for us. And there's no moves here either that really mean that much to us. Player progression. Jovanovic up to a 96 where he was last year. Jordan down to a 89. Still has a lot of badges and a lot of years left on him, I'm assuming. Hendricks goes down by a 1 at age 26. Graves down to a 79. And Roy Valentine down to a 65. He's probably going to retire next year, I would have to imagine. So our lineup in the first year without Weaver in so long. We've got Jovanovic, Jordan, Graves, Hayes, Wright Foreman, Hendricks, Moncrief, Frederick Gardner, the Greek guy, Ronnie Becker, Rudy Patrick, Bert Floyd, Justin Buford, Roy Valentine, Jared Dudley. That's not Jared Dudley. This is somebody else. We have reached the All-Star draft once again, and Jovanovic is a team captain for the first time. And his 5th All-Star selection, Ronnie Jordan, is nowhere to be seen on either team. But Martin Hayes is there. So moves for us this year, we extend Hayes and Eddie Moncrief. Then we trade Moncrief and Buford for a power forward and a small forward. Then we trade Frederick Gardner as well for Chip Mullen and a first-round pick in the future. And Team Jovanovic wins in the All-Star game by 5, where Jovanovic drops 16 points. Okay, real quick, we have a couple of contracts to extend. One for Graves, who is now 30 years old. We'll give him a 2-year deal. And he accepts. And then we have one for Roy Valentine, who still wants to be a scout. We'll give him a 2-year deal just to make sure that he's here. But he will probably be done after this year, I would have to imagine. But he stays around again. The year comes to an end, and Jovanovic has been usurped as the MVP. It's Johan Eklund, who I said some years back was looking pretty solid out of the draft, and here he is. Anybody else for us? Danny Hendricks once again wins 6th Man of the Year with 12.5 and 6.5. So good for him. And we also win Coach of the Year once again, despite having a worse year than we're used to. That's still a first overall seed for us. Jovanovic once again is on the All-NBA first team. And we don't have anybody else on those teams, but Ronnie Jordan and Jovanovic both are on the All-Defensive first team. And that's it for us. Oh my God. I'm sitting here and just realized that I forgot to look at the accolades for Weaver. But to be fair, there honestly weren't that many besides him winning, I think, what was it, 5 rings with us? It was 4 or 5. I think he made the All-Star game either once or not at all. And I think that was it. I'm pretty sure. Besides maybe like a first team all rookie or something. God, how do I forget that? I can't believe that. Anyways, stats for this year. Jovanovic 23.4, 5.3 and 6, and he shot very well. Ronnie Jordan 18.5 points per game, 5 boards, 4.4 assists. He shot 51%. Danny Hendricks 12.5 and 6.5 as we saw. Martin Hayes played pretty well. Antonio Graves just below 10 points per game. And Roy Valentine did not play at all. So this year we faced the Nets in the first round. Let's try to avoid losing in the first round this year. Let's see what happens this time. We're back in the finals with a rematch against Denver. After narrowly escaping the Eastern Finals with a win against the Hawks in 7 games, we are taking on the Nuggets in a rematch from a couple years back where they beat us in 6 games. How does this one go? Let's find out. The Scouts are leading 3-2. Let's see what happens here in Game 6. Fellas, ring number 7 is here. We have blown out Denver on the road at Ball Arena. And we have really come back to get that ring that we so deserved a couple years back against this same team. So the clock winds down. Hendricks has the ball. That's the last shot of the game, and it goes in. Right forward to wrap this one up. The Scouts have ring number 7. A 135-93 win. The Scouts win in 6 games to get ring number 7. The franchise continues as we take down Arthur Ellis this time. The former Scout. We raise the banner once again. We're here again with Adam Silver as he presents the trophy to us again, to our 7 or 8 year in a row winning head coach of the year, Gregor Hardaway. And he will lift the trophy. The Scouts are champions once again. Antonio Graves and Hendricks still here. And the finals MVP is Danny Hendricks. Are you serious? Let's go. I did not expect. Where's Jovanovic? I saw him there for a moment. Where's Jordan? No, it's Hendricks. I love that. And there's the trophy once again. Danny Hendricks, 18 points per game, 8.3 assists, 4.5 boards, 2 steals, and he shot very well. Yeah, he deserves this. Was somebody hurt or something? Who got hurt? Who got hurt? Jordan was hurt, and Jovanovic, I guess, must have fractured something at some point during this series because he was out. But Jordan played. Danny Hendricks with a finals MVP. That is beautiful. Let's look at the box scores real quick. In game 1, he had 14 points. Jordan did not play this game. Jovanovic was out too. We won without Jovanovic the entire finals. Ronnie Jordan did not play maybe in any of it. Game 2, Hendricks had 21 points. Graves had 9. Still no Jordan or Jovanovic. Game 3, Hendricks 22 and 11. Graves 16 points. No Jordan or Jovanovic. Game 4, Graves 25. Hendricks 14. No Jordan or Jovanovic. Game 5, Graves 24. Hendricks 9 and 10. No Jordan or Jovanovic. We just won the finals without Jordan or Jovanovic playing. Hendricks had 32, 7, and 10 in the game or the series clincher. I can't believe that. Jordan and Jovanovic both missed the finals completely, and Danny Hendricks steps up and leads us to a series win, a finals win a 7th trophy. That is a crazy story. Moving on, though. LaMelo Ball has retired. Moses Moody, Scotty Barnes, finally done. Franz Wagner, Jalen Green, Hal Adkins is done after 17 seasons. Jamal Harris is done after 17 seasons. Don Cameron is done. Gabriel Westbrook is done. And he played for the Nets ever since we let him go. A scout and then a net, and that's it. Over 14 years in the league, and he had a pretty good career. 16 points per game. Yeah. Shot pretty well too. Good for him. What about his career accolades? Anything special for him? Any special accolades that he earned? 1 championship, 1 second-team All-Rookie for us. So not much. Former scout Kirk Banks has retired after 12 years. 35 years old. A 3-time NBA champion, part of that three-peat team, of course. And he was a pretty vital role player for that team. But yeah, Kirk Banks is done. 13 points per game, 5.8 boards. And again, he shot pretty well. But I think that's it. Jordan and Valentine are still in the league. They're still on our team. We're not done yet, folks. We have more years to sim. Hall of Famers, LaMelo Ball, Hal Adkins, Scotty Barnes, and Jalen Green. 4 people this year make it to the Hall of Fame, and they get their retired jerseys too. LaMelo Ball has his Hornets and Timberwolves ones retired. Scotty Barnes has his Warriors one retired, and Hal Adkins, of course, for the Pistons, has his retired. What a great player he was. The Scouts drafted shooting guard Byron Dudley at the end of the first round this season, and also small forward Sergei Posnov, who won't make the team most likely. No big moves for us here, just a couple of short-term deals being signed and a couple of guys being brought back for a year or two. Player progression. Jovanovic still 96 overall. Jordan down to a 86, 87 overall. Hendricks down by 1. Antonio Graves down by 3 at 31 years old. Boy Valentine down by 3 to a 62/63 overall at age 34. The roster for this year includes Jovanovic, Jordan, Graves, Hayes, Wright Foreman, Danny Hendricks, Richardson, Reynolds, Becker, the Greek guy, and more. Valentine still there, of course. We have reached the All-Star draft where Jovanovic and that Johan guy are the captains. And Ronnie Jordan is a starter. He's back. Let's go. And he's with Jovanovic too on the same team. They've got to win this, right? Cade Cunningham is still a starter. 17-time All-Star. He might be the GOAT in this series, to be honest. That's crazy. So no big moves for us this year, but Team Dario Jovanovic does win the All-Star game. 13 points for Jovanovic and 6 points for Ronnie Jordan. Extension time, and Hendricks is here. He wants to re-sign. We're going to try and bring him back, obviously, on a 2-year, maybe a 3-year deal. He takes it. The year comes to an end, and Jovanovic is back on top of the league. A monster year with 25, 6, and 6, and 1 steal. Shot lights out from every spot on the courts. We don't get Coach of the Year for the first time in a long time. We also are first in the power rankings, but second in our conference. Jovanovic, though, is once again All-NBA first team. And Ronnie Jordan is back on the All-NBA third team, as well as Martin Hayes. So here are some stats for your 2-seed scouts. Jovanovic, we saw his stats. Ronnie Jordan back to 20 points per game. That's why he was there in the All-Star game. With 5 boards, 5 assists, shooting very well still. Hayes is playing very well. Hendricks 12.6 and 6.7 off the bench. Antonio Graves 9.6 points per game. And Roy Valentine still down here. In round 1, we take on the Orlando Magic. Let's see what happens. The Scouts have lost in the second round. A 7-game series goes to the Wizards. We 1-7 in round 1, so a really tough battle for us this playoff run, but we just can't get it done with both Jovanovic and Jordan unless one of them is hurt again, which is not the case, but we still kind of a letdown here, but let's see what happens the rest of the way. We can't make the finals every year, I guess, right? And the eventual champions are the Phoenix Suns over the Wizards. Your finals MVP is Calvert Cole. Never heard of him, but he's a 95 overall player at age 22. Absolutely insane. 28.5 points per game, 8.7 boards, and 5.5 assists as a small forward. He's crazy good. That takes us to retirements. Cade Cunningham is finally done at age 39 and 19 years. He retires a Laker just like LeBron James will most likely. Eric Flowers is done as well. Jackson Chandler, Tyson Gardner, Willie Fuller, Mark Pope. And Roy Valentine is officially done at age 35. He was a scout for his entire damn career. 14 total years in the NBA. Did not play at all his final 3 years because he was pretty much just Udonis Haslem. But one of the greatest scouts of all time. Up there with Weaver and Jordan. And Jovanovic will be up there shortly soon. Not a Hall of Fame career by any means, but he made his career count when it mattered the most. Let's look at his stat line these first couple of years. 6-6, then 8-10, 8-10, 9-11, 10-11, 8-11, 7-9, and then after that kind of dropped off because he was no longer a starter. But he was a great player for us defensively and on the glass as well. Career stats: 7.3 points per game, 8.9 boards per game, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, shot 48%. Yeah. His career is over. One of the greatest all-time scouts. Just a massive player for us down low in the paint. Played in 746 games. Started just below 500 of them. And we saw the peak of his career. We saw it all. We saw his first we saw his first 9 or 10 seasons, I think, somewhere around there. But he's done. Look at his accolades real quick. And they are: he's a 7-time NBA champion. As he should be. What a guy. What a player. He's done, though. I wonder if we retire his jersey. Probably not. We probably should, though. We probably don't. I guess we'll find out later on. But he retires. Tyler Mullen also is done at age 33. 3-time NBA champion, part of that three-peat team. He was a big part of those teams. Became a starter towards the end of it. Played for a lot of teams after we traded him. But his stat line: 7.8 points per game, 7.6 boards, shot 53%, was a good free throw shooter for us, and he is also done after 11 pro seasons. And Cade Cunningham is officially a Hall of Famer. Good for him. He had a hell of a career here. A lot of games played, a lot of stats. He was good until the end. And Cunningham has 3 separate retired jerseys. The Pistons, the Lakers, and the Hawks. So 3 retired ones for him to go up in the rafters. Roy Valentine's number 32 has not been retired. Player progression, Jovanovic stays the same. Jordan down to 84 at age 35, going to be 36 at some point during the year. Martin Hayes, 84 overall. Hendricks down to 78, 79, which he was, I think, last year too. And Antonio Graves down to a 74, 75 at age 32. Your scouts lineup for this year: Jovanovic, Ronnie Jordan, Antonio Graves, Martin Hayes, Frankie Kennedy, Danny Hendricks, Richardson, Reynolds, the Greek guy, Dudley, Floyd, and it's our first year, this entire franchise, without Big Roy. All that's left is Ronnie Jordan. I think once he retires, we're going to wrap things up. I'm going to let Graves' career and Hendricks' career be left up to the imagination if they don't retire before or at the same time as Ronnie Jordan. So whenever this guy is done, we are done too. We are back to the All-Star draft where Jovanovic is once again a team captain. 7-time All-Star. And Ronnie Jordan is not on either list. So he is not going to make the All-Star game this season. And during the year, the scouts traded Antonio Graves and a first-round pick for Stanley Owens and a second-round pick. He is gone after a long tenure with the scouts, but he has been shipped off. And if he retires, we'll see where he ends up. Not going to waste my time trying to figure out where he is going to play afterwards, but we made a trade with the Pistons. He's playing for them? Why them? Seriously, that's like the worst team to go to. For real. That being said, Team Dario did win the All-Star game once again. He scored 7 points, 3 for 6 from the field. It's contract time, and Hayes and Jordan both want to re-sign. We're going to let the CPU handle Hayes, and we're going to handle Jordan's right now ourselves. He wants to return. We'll try and make it 3 years just to see, just to make sure that he does not go anywhere else. Don't know how long he'll be in the league for until he retires. I think he'll probably go max up to age 39, so maybe 3 or 4 more years at the most, but he is locked in for 3 more years at the very least. The year is over, and a new MVP has entered our league. Johnny McDaniel with 26-13, an absolutely crazy stat line. Kind of reminds me of Hal Adkins' numbers, but he wins that. Hendricks once again 6th man of the year. And Gregor Hardaway back in front in a Coach of the Year race. And Janeth Ball, who I guess is us, right, wins Exec of the Year. So this year, Jovanovic made the All-NBA second team, as well as the All-Defensive second team too. Here are the stats for your 1-seed scouts. Jovanovic, 23, 5 and 6.5 this year, shot very well. Ronnie Jordan coming off a broken left leg very shortly. He's day-to-day, but he scored 16 points per game, 4 boards and 5 assists, and shot a lot worse than we're used to, but still pretty good for most players. Byron Dudley played pretty well. Hendricks, 12.9 and 7.4. I think from now on, I'm only going to focus on guys that we know, so pretty much just Hendricks, Jordan, and Jovanovic. That's pretty much it. We face the Celtics here in the first round. Let's see how this playoff run goes for us. We lost in round 2 to Brooklyn in 6 games. And our year is done very similar to how it went last year. How did the playoffs go for the rest of the league? The Suns and Wizards match up again, and the Suns sweep them. Calbert Cole once again wins Finals MVP 2 years in a row. 24 points per game for him, 6 boards, 5 assists, and he shot very well. 68%. He's crazy. And 72% from beyond the arc. Oh my God. Anyways, on to retirements. Isaiah Stewart played 21 years. He's 41. He's finally done. Arthur Ellis, also done, the former scout, at age 38. Played for, I think, a total of 2 teams. The Scouts and the Nuggets. No, he played for Chicago too. So he played for Chicago. And then for us after a trade. And then he went to Denver for the rest of his career. I thought he played for Denver before he played for us, but I guess I was wrong. But he played for Denver for a long time after our trade. Like a long time. And he was really good too. He actually might make the Hall of Fame. Maybe. Probably not, but he could. Chris Gilmore also done. Terrence Rollins, Stephen Waters, Dwayne Watts, Eddie Moncrief, who played for us during these sim seasons. And Ronnie Jordan, I don't see him here. He's still going strong. But we can continue strong as well. Hall of Famers Chris Gilmore, Arthur Ellis did make it, as well as Isaiah Stewart. Wow. Now I thought he would. Not playing for us though, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Stephen Waters, Costa, and Ellis all have their retired jerseys. Waters for New York, Costa for the Hornets, and Ellis, of course, for Denver, where he played for like 15 or 16 seasons. We skip all the way to player progression, where Jovanovic goes down by 1 to a 95. Hayes down to a 83. Jordan down to a 80/81 at age 36. And Hendricks down by 2 to a 76 or 77, somewhere around there. The team for this year: Jovanovic, Jordan, Dudley, Hayes, Kennedy Hendricks, Owens, Reynolds, Barry Carroll, Elliott, Floyd, and more. Once again, Jovanovic is a captain in the All-Star game. And Ronnie Jordan is not on either team this year either. No crazy moves for us this year, and Team Jovanovic once again wins by 1 in the All-Star game. He drops 13, 4, and 9. The Scout Cole guy, I want to take a quick look at this guy because he's crazy good. He's played for 6 years so far, but he is a machine. Extension time for Jovanovic. He wants around $63 million. But he might just take this deal instead. It's a little bit less than that, but it is a lot of money, so he stays around. The year ends, and McDaniel once again wins MVP. And we don't get Coach of the Year, or we do get Exec of the Year, which is nice. We finished first in our conference, second in the power rankings, and we went 55-27, probably our worst record in a while, to be honest. Jovanovic makes the All-NBA third team and the All-Defensive second team. The Scouts are the 1 seed, and here are some stats, as I believe Ronnie Jordan has been benched for most of the year behind Byron Dudley. What's going on? I think he has been benched. Let's see. Game started. Where is it? He's played in 74 games, started 51 of them. He got benched the second half of the year. You're kidding me. But Jovanovic, 21, 5, and 6. Jordan, 13.4 points per game, 3.4 boards, 4.2 assists, shot only 43%. Danny Hendricks, 9.7 and 6.3 off the bench, also shot around 42%. The 1 seed Scouts face the Nets in this first round. And after a couple of years, we're back in the finals, and Minnesota is back too. And Jordan's going to miss some time. Come on. The Scouts lead 3-1. And I want to play Ronnie Jordan as a starter above Dudley for what could be the last time we see him play, as we have a chance to put this series to rest right now. Well, they blew us out that game, so we don't win that one. Let's see what happens here in Game 6. It's been a tight game all the way through here in Minnesota. They have the ball down by 4 and down by 1 game in this series. They have to win this game to keep their hopes alive, as that shot is no good. Hendricks on the courts. I don't see Jordan, but that shot is good by whoever that guy is. I don't see Jovanovic either. Actually, no, I do see him. He is out there. I see Hendricks. Jordan not in the game right now. As another miss down low by the Timberwolves might have wrapped this game up as we lead by 7. Jovanovic knocks that one down. And that is going to do it, folks. The Scouts will get ring number 8. Another win against Minnesota in the finals. They just can't seem to take us down. A 7-point win here in Game 6 to wrap up the series as Jordan consoles Jovanovic. The 8th trophy for us in the series. And I think the 5th for us in this long-term sim. Just absurd stuff. And Coach Gregor Hardaway will lift the trophy for the 8th time in his career. A phenomenal head coach. And the finals MVP goes to Jovanovic for the first time in his career. The Scouts win again. Jovanovic, 22 points per game, 6 boards, 7 assists. He shot lights out. He does deserve that for the first time in his career. I want to look at some stats real quick for Jovanovic and Jordan. 23 here for Jovanovic. Hendricks, 6. Jordan did not play in Game 1. Game 2, Jovanovic, 27, 12, and 8. Hendricks, 11. Jordan not playing. Game 3, Jovanovic 15 and 12. Hendricks 15 points, 9 assists. Jordan not playing once again. Game 4, Jordan 19 points off the bench behind Dudley. Jovanovic 18 points, Hendricks 7. And Game 5, Jovanovic drops 19 points. Hendricks 3 points, Jordan 2 points, 1 for 10. And in Game 6, Jovanovic 34 to wrap things up. Jordan drops 10. And Hendricks drops 6, 6, and 9. That takes us to retirements, folks. And it has finally happened. Ronnie Jordan has retired. At age 37, he still could have kept on going. He still has some juice left, but he decides to end his career. After 18 seasons, all of them with the Scouts. A legendary player. He's going to make the Hall of Fame, you would have to think. Phenomenal guy. Was great his entirety of his career. Here are all of Ronnie Jordan's accolades. 2-time MVP. 8-time NBA champion. 8-time All-Star. A 2-time first-team All-NBA player. A 2-time second-team All-NBA player. And a 2-time third-team All-NBA player. Altogether, he made 6 All-NBA teams. He made a couple of All-Defensive teams too, which are not showing up here. He was on the All-Rookie first or second team. But, I mean, yeah. A fantastic career. We'll check his stats in a moment, but just want to sit here on this screen and look at all these accolades right here that he's racked up throughout his entire tenure in the NBA as a scout. Soak it in. These are his year-by-year stats. We'll just scroll through them briefly. But he's done. He had a fantastic peak. He did not regress easily. And he ends up with 19.5 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, 1 steal per game. He shot 49% over the course of his career, 43% from downtown, 81 at the line, 31 minutes per game, 26.6 thousand points, 6.8 thousand rebounds, 7,000 assists, below 2,000 steals, 3,000 turnovers, made about 4,000 threes, 3K free throws, played over 42,000 minutes in the NBA, played in 1,370 games, and started 1,344 of them. Absolutely phenomenal career. 124 double-doubles, 5 triple-doubles, and a 9.4 thousand plus-minus total. In his rookie year, he had 13 points per game. In his last year, he had 13 points per game. It came full circle. He played 18 full years. The Duke Blue Devil is done. He spent every waking moment as a scout. You can't ask for much more than that. Contract thought. I don't think I can go through the daily grind of another season. This is it for me. And Ronnie Jordan is officially a Hall of Famer, as he so deserves. Let's go. The 2043 Hall of Fame lone inductee. Nobody else out of this retirement class matched up to him. It was only him. And that's where he belongs. Etched in history. And of course, his jersey has been retired. Number 25 will never be worn again by a scout. From 2025 to 2043, that was his career. And we end it this year too. We will wrap up by going through a couple of record books across the team and the league and our team history, and we'll call it from there. We're going to leave up the careers of Jovanovic and Hendricks and Graves to the imagination. Those guys can carry on their careers. We're going to wrap up right here. So I'll scroll through these, not going to make much comments here about these stats or whatever, but I'll show all of them for the regular year and the playoffs too. So stick around, and I'll comment later on about the team history and stuff like that. But for now, I'm going to be silent and just scroll through a couple of these stats. Now for the NBA records, I'm going to try and find Jordan and Weaver. I might not be able to find Weaver, but I can find Jordan for sure, I think. on this list somewhere, probably in the top 40 or 50 somewhere. So we'll scroll down, we'll look for him. This is for total points in a career. And he is somewhere in this area, I would have to imagine. Unless I skipped him. Oh, here he is. Number 41, Ronnie Jordan, 26.6 thousand points in his career. 41 all time. I'll try and find Weaver too, but he might be way too far down to find. He did not crack the top 100, unfortunately. I think he was fairly close, though. But Weaver, not top 100 in points. For field goals made, Jordan wraps up his career at 41st here as well. For threes made, Arthur Ellis is first all time. I can't believe that. That's crazy to me. He's first all time. I saw Wade Webb somewhere. Weaver's got to be on this list, right? Ronnie Jordan's 20th in threes made. Okay. There's Wade Webb at 38 with 3,061. And there he is. Weaver is at number 50 all-time in three-pointers made. Congratulations, sir. So I could not find Jordan on the points per game over a career list. Despite him being around this area near like Magic Johnson-esque, like 19.5 I think was the exact number, but he's not showing up. But a Weaver is showing up with a false number with 19 points per game in his career. But he's there. Jordan also top 100 in 50-point games. Jovanovic is 94th with 14 40-point games. Ronnie Jordan, 70th. He had 19 40-point games. Games played, though, Ronnie Jordan, 47th all-time. And here is the league history of the MVP award. We started in, I believe, the 2021-2022 season, or right afterwards. And here are all the MVPs over that time. Ronnie Jordan with 2 MVPs right here. Then later on, Jovanovic wins 4 and 5 seasons. 6th Man of the Year. Hendricks, 3-time winner of that. Most Improved Player, Shake Milton won that way back when. Antonio Graves won it with us, of course. Coach of the Year, Gregor Hardaway won it so many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10-time winner of the Coach of the Year award. And I think he won like 6 or 7 right there in a row. Crazy. And now for the past champions. We'll wrap up with one last thing after this. But it all started right here. The three-peat. Weaver, Jordan finals at MVPs. Then we won 2 more after 1 year of being the losing team in the finals. He won again later on. So Weaver, in the end, had 2 finals at MVPs. Jordan had 4. And we won 8 rings in total in the series. 3 while watching and 5 while simming. The last page we're going to look at, the team history page. 12 conference championships, 19 playoff appearances over like 23, 24 years. 8 NBA titles, 14 division titles, and 2 retired numbers. Damian Weaver and Ronnie Jordan. 4 and 25. I have recorded for 4 hours straight doing this long-term sim. And we finally got to the end. The end of the long-term sim. The end of our series. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I did this last episode too, but again, if you watched through this entire thing, then congrats, because this is by far the longest episode of the entire series. But thank you so much. It really means a lot. But 154 episodes? 154 episodes that some of you guys have watched through. And even if you have not, You watched a lot of it because you're watching this one right now. Your support means the world to me. All the likes, all the comments, all the discussion, all the hype. I cannot wait to start another series just like this. Another expansion team. And I guess I will see you guys when that video drops for that announcement. That'll drop probably a week from when this episode drops. So I'm going to be a couple of days of downtime without a video, but this video goes out on the 1st of September. We're going to drop the announcement on the 9th of September, and then the new series will start on 2K23 around the 16th of September. So a bit of a wait there, but I know, but it gives me some time to plan things out and go from there. So thanks guys so much for watching, seriously. And if you have not already, please like and please subscribe. And comment your closing thoughts down below on the series. And what you want to see from the next one. I already have a team in mind. I chose my team. So I am ready for that. And I hope you guys are too. That will do it for me, guys. So once again, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. And as always, go Scouts.